The ocean, the sea, the way we trade worldwide, the weather each day, creating half the very air we breathe. Almost 3/4 of our world, and yet we barely understand its workings in the deep. Ocean explorers diving in silence, far and free, are set to change all that. These are autonomous underwater gliders. And in the United Kingdom, the ocean glide path starts here, at Blue Ocean Marine Tech Systems workshop in Plymouth, building and maintaining these autonomous underwater vehicles. But ocean glider? How can that be?
What makes it a glider is its unique propulsion method. So instead of having a traditional propeller on the back, like you'd expect to see a torpedo or something like that, it uses a change of buoyancy to propel itself through the water. Once the glider's changed its buoyancy and it's starting to sink through the water, it's not using any power at all other than for its sensors, so it's incredibly efficient. If you were observing one out doing its thing, you'd see it going up and down through the water column, so from somewhere near the surface, down towards the seabed and then back up again. And it'll keep doing that for months at a time.
With such ultra-low power consumption, the world record for a glider so far is over 9 months. Endurance that can deliver a wealth of scientific, biological and meteorological data of the greatest interest to all maritime nations and their navies. Listening and learning 24/7, and all controlled and monitored in detail from Blue Ocean's facilities worldwide.
So now the glider's come up, it's finished downloading its data. We'll then look at the visualization to see what the data or profile of the glider looks like. I can see it's going down and then surfacing, and it's taking about an hour and 15 minutes to do that, and it's diving down to a depth of 160 meters.
The modest appearance of these gliders, these ones made by the American company Teledyne Marine, belies their capacity. Within a hull just over 2 meters long, slim and torpedo-like, they pack in a lot of technology.
So the main parts of the glider, at the front here we have the buoyancy system, which is how the glider propels itself by making small changes to its buoyancy. In the middle we have the payload bay, or the science bay as we call it, which is where the sensors are located and the data from those sensors is stored. At the back we have the main battery and also the brains of the glider that control it. And then right at the back we have the rudder, and there's also an air bladder which keeps the glider on the surface when it's transferring data. You might also have some external sensors on the glider as well.
Time for one of the gliders to take a bath, with the aid of Royal Navy meteorologists learning how the gliders work. And this particular task is key, establishing the correct neutral buoyancy before deployment.
Our job as oceanographic meteorologists is to exploit the environment, and the ocean and the water masses in the ocean affect a lot of different things for the Royal Navy and the ships operating in them. So using this will benefit us to make decisions for our warships and how the Royal Navy operates.
It's new, exciting, and it's modern. Certainly for the youngsters that are joining, they seem to be all for it, and they want to get involved in it now, but we'll see how the trials go into its future.
Once deployed, the glider will make its own way, collecting vast amounts of data, offering its users major operational benefits.
You can have a glider out for a long period of time collecting data, whereas traditionally you'd have had to have a ship full of people and crew and all the costs associated with that. A ship is limited by the endurance of its crew, the amount of food it can carry, the amount of fuel and all those things. Whereas a glider, which is propelled by buoyancy, is so efficient, it can stay at sea for 6 months plus collecting data. So you're removing that requirement to have people at sea. So it's reducing costs, but crucially it's also reducing the risks associated with having people at sea. Additionally, a glider can stay out in a hurricane, can stay out in whatever weather conditions may be upon it, whereas a ship full of people will need to come back to port, or will need to run for shelter if the weather gets bad.
Very capable pieces of kit, all told. You know, they genuinely deliver what we need to in a very compact manner. So from a Navy perspective, we're more than happy with what they do, and they're replicating missions that were previously achieved with ships. So, you know, when you take something this compact and say this is now replacing a ship, you can see the savings, the benefits across the board. Point is that when you send them out, they go out, they fulfill that mission set very capably, they return, you download the data, and you've got everything you need. And not just that, they return, download the data, but they're constantly transmitting the data back to you.
0900 hours, Port of Oban, Scotland. Utility ship Green Isle loads up and gets underway. Her voyage plan is to sail 120 nautical miles out into the North Atlantic Ocean. Nearest landfall, the Outer Hebrides. Every moment counts, so Blue Ocean's Rob Ayrton and Jack McWilliams work with the Royal Navy's leading hand meteorologist Rob Holt to set up the gliders on board, ready for their next mission. These ocean voyages can also work in concert, delivering vital oceanographic information and anti-submarine capacity too. But first, a dawn rendezvous with two gliders whose mission is complete.
There is a glider now on the surface. If you see it, please shout out.
It's a crane, net and boat hook recovery.
She's just on the net now. She's just coming on now. Yep. She's in. Oh, we've got the hydrophone still.
One of the gliders has lost a wing. But even the loss of both wouldn't end a mission. Safely back on board, the gliders are checked in, and the search and discovery work goes right on. As the next mission initiates, monitored and run by the Blue Ocean team in Western Australia.
Yeah, so what's happening now with the gliders?
So, well, I'll just see what they're telling me from Australia first. So both gliders of two of the three that are in the water right now, the pilots in Australia will be monitoring them, looking through them, checking everything's good to go, that their mission is all loaded, they've got their strip. Once they're ready, they'll send them on a test dive. And the test dive will be do a full yield profile, and then they'll resurface. It'll probably take a couple hours, and when they surface, they'll download, check them, have a look and check that they were flying okay, that their ballast was good, that everything is good on the system, and if they're happy, then we'll send them on their merry way.
Australia confirms. Good to go.
Okay, yeah, not a problem. All right, Sam, cheers.
Seems to have gone really well, actually. I mean, most of it, in case you've realised, is transiting to and from the locations, and that's because the kind of way the continental shelf slopes to the UK. So we could have to get 12 hours out to do effectively, well, for the recoveries, took us, 15, 20 minutes for two gliders to be recovered, and we put in two gliders in under 2 minutes of each other, and then had to hang around for 2 hours while they were sorting their stuff out and doing the in-water tests. And the other two are ready to come back in to get them to the workshop, cleaned down and ready for the next mission.
As Green Isle turns for home, the Teledyne gliders she launched are already hard at work, deep in the Atlantic, seeking, finding, recording, whatever the weather, day and night. Autonomous underwater gliders, tireless ocean voyagers.